Hello, friends. Hello. I really wanted to try to do this on my phone because my phone camera is so much better than this little MacBook Pro camera. Do I have a MacBook Pro? Yeah, I do. But oh well. We'll talk a little bit about the philosophy of college. I'm starving. I am famished. I've been tutoring. Had a bit of a late morning because girlfriend and I were marathoning. This Is Us season 4. It's getting good. It's getting spicy. And yeah, I'm going to make a sandwich and we can talk a little bit about the philosophy of college. Is college even worth it these days? Where do I begin? But yeah, I'm more interested in your guys' questions. I have some things prepared, but just let me know what you guys want to talk about. I'm going to try to put this computer on this giant Brazilian Portuguese genomics textbook. Show you guys a little bit around the house, and we'll see what we can do here. Okay, here's the kitchen. I was preparing some eggplants. Quick trick with the eggplant is that you want to cut it and then put some salt on it, and then that will get rid of, sometimes eggplant has like a little bit of a nasty taste on it, and that will solve that problem. We are out of paper towels, so I'm using toilet paper to dry this eggplant. My girlfriend is laughing from outdoors. Yeah, we're really running low on groceries. It's like the apocalypse out here. I don't know how much longer we can last. So it's getting rid of that yucky stuff. Okay, so college, guys. The purpose of college. You know, I've thought about this question quite a bit, and it's like, if I was raising a child today who was 4 or 5 years younger. Okay, maybe not a child, but just a younger sibling. That makes more sense, Kevin. A younger sibling. And they really wanted to go to college. Like, the situation for them would be so different from the situation for me because I was FGLI, low income. Meaning, if I wanted to go to college, it would be free. Like, if they got into, let's say, the best schools in America, like top 20 schools, it's just so freaking ridiculous how expensive they are. And I find myself asking this question of like, is it even worth it? I know friends, okay, who went to community college for 1 or 2 years and then transferred to state school. And so they probably spent in total, I don't know, 30, 40 grand on education, on their higher education. And I'm like, you're a genius. And now, like, you just don't, like, it depends on the career that you're really thinking about. Of course, like, lots of you young people have no idea what career you're interested in. And it's kind of a catch-22, right? You go to college to figure out your career, but your career also depends on the college that you went to. It really helps. Like, if you guys are watching this and you're in late high school or early high school, your job is to honestly just figure out what you want to do with your life as quickly as possible. And it's okay if you don't have a plan. It's okay if you have no idea, I should say, but you should have some kind of plan to figure that out, to the extent that, do I want to do STEM or humanities? What kind of fields am I interested in? And really, in order to get to that point as quickly as possible, I think it's really helpful to follow people throughout their days, like almost like schedule little interviews. Like, for the longest time, I'll give you guys an example, right? For the longest time, I was really interested in finance and business. I was like, I want to be a investment banker. I was like, this is it. This is my calling. Kevin Zhen, investment banker, work on Wall Street, make tons of cash, money, support my family, live happily ever after. And then what I realized, guys, I mean, I always knew that I would be doing business. I always knew. But the moment I realized that investment banking was not cut out for me is because I was lucky enough that my older sister, who's also college educated, she's about 13 years older than me, right? She went to the University of Virginia, and she has lots of connects. She was head of the UVA Alumni Club in New York. And so my sister Lorna, she's connecting me with these Wall Street professionals at different investment banking firms. And of course, like, I know I sound like such a privileged piece of scum, just saying like, oh, my sister connected me to all these banks and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is that you can do this too, because I have a friend who was like first of her blood, who was basically FGLI, almost the same profile as me, because she came from upstate New York. Her parents ran a Chinese restaurant, and she was on the, you guys have seen her tape, right? She's on the college winter view playlist, where she was doing investment bank. Anyways, I digress. The most important thing is that I ended up going and visiting these people at the banks, and I scheduled these talks. Hey, what's up, Anka? So I scheduled these talks, and I'm meeting with potential investment bankers, and this is what you want to do, guys. Like, don't ask them for a job, just follow them and shadow them for a day and see what their life is really like. See like what their workplace is like, and just ask yourself, would I be happy in this environment working there? Like, a lot of people want to be doctors, and being a doctor in America is so absolutely miserable. Like, are you sure you want to do that? If you want to work in medicine, there's so many different careers and opportunities. You could work like selling pharmaceuticals. You could do research. And then what you need to figure out is like, what does that process actually look like? How many hours in a day am I working? Where am I working? Who are the kinds of people that I'll be working with? And then you need to figure out like, really like the purpose of college is to try to jump to get to that point. Is the purpose of college really to jump and get to that point? I think that's one way to approach it. And I think it will save you a lot of time if you go in with those kinds of, just start thinking about that a little bit earlier. Like a 1 or 2 year head start will really, really help. How am I feeling? How did I decide to go into education? So going into education was kind of a funny story, Rasmus. Like, I've always been interested in education, and my first foray into education was probably in high school. I was just doing some extracurricular activities. I helped kids in my dorm. Like, I was really bad. I was so bad at writing. And I ended up tutoring kids in my dorm. And the reason was because I was one of the worst writers at Exeter. I was really on my high horse. I came from Miami. I was thinking, I was a straight A student in Miami. This is going to be such a breeze. Ended up going to Exeter and just got like my butt handed to me. And so I had this friend, his name was Robert Connor, and Robert ended up tutoring me in English. Now, Robert is an international student from Thailand. English is his like third language. And I just remember that we would give each other massages, late nights massages in the dorm. Give me 1 second. Just making a sandwich. Gotta grab some cold cuts and the butter. 1 second. All right, let me sit down and share this story because it's a good one. How did I get into education? So, straight A student from Miami, went to Exeter, and I used to think that I was so good at writing. I won some poetry prizes. I just like, this is awesome. I'm going to get there. It's going to be great. But I was like a big fish in a small pond. And now you go to Exeter and it's like going to college, guys. Like, people there have won international Olympiad awards. They have won national awards. They've been published. They're doing research. It's just mind blowing. It can be very intimidating. I ended up studying writing. I was really, really bad at it. So bad at it that my high school teacher, when I was in 9th grade, would tell me, Kevin, do you want to stick around? I can help tutor you. There was a moment where, like, I think she even accused me of plagiarism. I don't know. It was all kind of wonky. I just remember being so distraught because I thought I was good at writing, and it turns out I wasn't. So I was getting really poo-poo grades, dog water grades at Exeter, maybe my first semester, just specifically in English. But thanks to Robert, he would come over behind me and he would give me a massage, and then he would look at my writing. He would be literally over here, over my shoulder, watching me as I wrote. And he found that my writing was just so bad. And he was like, Kevin, like, your writing is doo-doo. And I was like, wow, thank you, Robert, for that constructive criticism. And he was like, no, let's switch. So then now he's sitting down in the driver's seat. He's typing away and I am massaging him. But actually what he would do is he would print out my writing and he would go through it line by line, word by word with, colored pencils, colored pens. And I remember it. And he told me all these rules that I'd never heard of, show, don't tell. And it's thanks to Robert that literally today I'm able to charge like $60, $80, $100 writing. And using the techniques that Robert has taught me, I refined them, taught them to like dozens of students. And those students have won national scholastic writing awards and have gotten into summer programs and have gotten into like great Ivy League schools, top 20 colleges, because their writing ability is so strong. So let me rewind a little bit. I'm jumping the gun. So here I am in 9th and 10th grade, and I actually ended up improving a lot in writing. I was going from like one of the worst kids in my classroom, improving, getting A's. And at this point, I won my first writing award in 10th grade. Everyone knew it because they announced it. There's a prize day assembly at Exeter where people will say, oh, XYZ person is the best at Spanish, English. And so I won my first writing award. It was like a huge confidence boost for me. Next year, I won it again. Year after that, I won it a third time. Your boy was on fire. So people started to take notice. And I remember some of my friends who were really, really good at the STEM subjects, math, science, and we would bargain. I'd be like, yo, Mahesh was also on this YouTube channel, the College Winter View. He studied neuroscience at Georgetown. You guys can check it out in the College Winter View playlist. Anyways, Mahesh would ask for my tutelage when it came to writing, and then he would help me with bio. And we're always like, even though we lived on the same campus, we would be Zooming, in those days, Skype, at literally 1 or 2 a.m. And I remember I was talking about oleic acid labs, and I would help him with his English narratives, and we would talk about like, oh, this scene and this dialogue is unrealistic, blah, blah, blah. By the time I got to a senior, I loved helping others, right? I love being useful. I love teaching. I wasn't always like, I guess I started teaching when I was in a junior or senior in high school. Robert graduated at this point because Robert was 1 year older than me. And he went on to attend Swarthmore. Really funny story. Like Robert's grades were horrible, and he kind of like smooth talked, finagled his way into Swarthmore. Yeah, I need to eat this sandwich. I'm starving. But I started hosting late night tutoring sessions. That's right, in the basement of our dorm, like this musty, moldy. It wasn't that musty. It wasn't that moldy, but it was, it was a basement, very basement-like basement. And we would sit on these couches, which had probably been there for like 10, 12 years. And I would be like an unofficial English teacher. I would hand out like award-winning narratives, prizes that I'd written, that my friends had written, that our English teachers thought were really good. And I would be like, look, guys, this is why it's good. We're going to try to mimic it. I'm going to explain the techniques, and I would break it down. Then, here's what happened. Those kids ended up winning. One kid in particular, he was like worse than me at writing. He started off in like C's and D's category. I was bad, but I wasn't like that bad. I was like getting B minuses, which is kind of bad, but not that bad. He was getting like straight C's, like nearly unrecoverable territory. And 2 years later, he won the same writing prize that I won, guys. And at this point, I was like, okay, clearly writing is not an innate skill, right? You don't pop out of the womb and you're just like, I am Hemingway, I am Dostoevsky, just pop out of the womb. It's something that is taught. And at that point, I realized like something, especially when it came to like math or science versus the humanities. Like if you are doing math and science, you cannot become best in the nation within 1 or 2 years. But I can actually turn a B or C student in English writing, and you can win writing awards in 1 or 2 years if you work really hard. It's pretty mind-blowing concept. I also like working, typically girls are like much, much better at writing. So I like working with guys, POC guys, Asian guys, Indian guys, Hispanic guys. And if you're able to write well as a guy, it really stands out in all kinds of processes, not just high school, but when you're applying to college, when you're applying to grad school, when you're applying to master's program, PhD program, scholarships, jobs, even when you're in the job and you still have to write and communicate, it's probably going to be one of the biggest things. I really love that feeling. Seeing a kid grow in that capacity, I was hooked. And since then, I've just been involved in education. I like working with middle school and high school students. So yeah, long story, Erasmus, but that's how I decided to go into education. Some regrets in the college process. Good question, Isabella. By the way, guys, if you're watching this, we have 8 viewers. Woo! Exciting. Why don't you guys sauce this video a like if you guys enjoyed that story? And also let me know where in the world you guys are watching this from. Don't be a stranger. I don't want to just talk to this black dot as I ramble on, make this turkey and grilled cheese sandwich. Ask me some questions. I want this is for you. This is for your guys' opportunity to really pick my brain. when it came to regrets in the college process, guys, you have to understand that like the way that I was doing college was so different from the way that you guys are doing college today, because I was doing Questbridge, and this was like pretty early on when Questbridge was first announced. And the other thing is that nobody at Exeter in boarding school did Questbridge. It was like unheard of. Even the college counselors were kind of confused about it. Now, the thing about Exeter, and I really have to explain the context, which is at Exeter, like college admissions is such a big deal that there's a policy that says if you get into a college with, I think it's less than a 10% acceptance rate, you pretty much have to go, because they want everyone at the college, they want everyone at Exeter to get into the best possible school. So if Kevin, like technically speaking, if Kevin applied and got into Harvard, Princeton, Yale, and I'm kind of like taking away a spot from another Exeter kid. And it's really bad if, like, let's say I already got into Yale early and then I decided to apply to all the Ivies. That's like a huge, huge no-no within the Exeter culture. So that was something that was kind of a big deal. And I can't believe how honorable I was. Like, am I an honorable guy? Like, I would not, on my tombstone, I don't think it would say Kevin Zhen, honorable person. But here's what I did, because through Questbridge, some of the poor, low-income kids wanted to, quote-unquote, level the playing field, because through Questbridge, you could say that I'm going to list multiple schools. So in that way, you kind of can navigate this loophole. So rather than just saying, like, I'm going to apply early to Princeton, through Questbridge's ranking system, you can apply early to all of these different schools, right? But what I did was I still only put one school on my list. I still only put Princeton. And those days I was addicted to Princeton. Princeton, number one choice. I wanted to go to Princeton so bad. Emphasis on undergraduate education. I love the environment. I love the eating clubs. I was really into that. They have an enormous breakdance team. I was so enamored with Princeton. Their mascot is a tiger. I am a tiger. I was born in the year of the tiger. And now, the other thing that I guess I should mention is that it's not necessarily, I forgot to put on some sauce. I'm going to put some ketchup and mayo on it. So here's the thing, right, guys? Like, if you apply to one school early, like let's say I actually did get into Yale, and but what ended up happening is that regular decision time, I kind of betray my comrades and I apply to all these other schools. What would happen then? Technically, there's no repercussions. It's just kind of an unsaid rule. You don't need to sign a contract. I think there is a contract, perhaps, but even if you break it, like, what's going to happen? No one can penalize you. There have been like rumors through the grapevine about how if you violate this, I applied to Yale early, and then I decide that, I still want to apply to all these Ivy League schools, my college admissions officer can kind of do some weird stuff to make sure that, like, they still want to make it more fair. They don't, like, sabotage my process, of course, but they don't just, like, they just don't try as hard. Like, you have to understand, at a school like Exeter, your college admissions officer, there's like 10 or 12 of them in the whole school, and they have a huge say in where you go. Some of them, man, I don't even know if I should say this on the record, but at any rate, everyone just knew that there were some who were better than others and some who were less powerful than others. And this is common knowledge, but they all have to write a huge letter of recommendation for you. Like, I think it's usually 1 or 2 pages, very, very detailed, has a lot of sway. That letter can affect your college admissions by, I would estimate, somewhere between 5 and 15%, maybe even up to 20%, depending on how strong that recommendation is. After all, these college admissions officers know the game, like, way better than even, like, I'm talking to Exeter college admissions officers know more than sometimes even the college admissions people at, like, the university. So if there are any regrets, one part of me would say I regret not applying to more schools. I do regret not applying to Brown. That's probably my biggest college regret. Things worked out ultimately. It was sad. I mean, I got in on April 1st, literally 5 years ago on this day. 2 days ago. Five years ago on April 1st, I got into Princeton and Yale. Changed my life. Yeah, not much I can regret when it comes to that. But I had also got into Williams and Georgetown. I would have been so happy going to Georgetown. I really do think so. And I can't say I have any regrets. I really enjoyed the process. I didn't enjoy the process. I enjoyed I guess you could say I enjoyed my approach to the process. Oh, we got a nice little sear on the sandwich. I'll show it to you guys in a sec. Don't really have many regrets. Yeah, Sigil, dude, I got like 25 subscribers out of nowhere. My channel got monetized, guys. We got monetized. I now make like $2 a day on YouTube, which is awesome. I'll take any amount where I'm just making videos. This is kind of like a dream come true. Just, fat chilling in literally making a sandwich. I guess I'm getting paid to talk and make a sandwich. Okay, that smoke looks a little suspicious. Turn on the exhaust. Maybe I could use some more butter. Yeah, what other questions do you guys have? The philosophy of college, is college worth it these days? It's so freaking expensive that I have already started waiting. I've already started considering, like, if my kid wants to go to Exeter in college, that's $500,000 per kid. Excuse me? Why? Why is it so expensive? Even my girlfriend and I have talked about, screw it. Just send them to like a Brazilian university. Things are like so much cheaper here. Obviously, the prestige of Yale is way higher. All right, here we go. Made it happen. I got some tea. Yes. Very excited about this tea. And now I'll sit here and chat with you guys. Oh, I gotta prep some of this eggplant as well. Let me move some stuff around. Okay, we're running really low on vegetables and just things in the house to eat. So the philosophy of college. Okay, where was I? Yeah, college is just too expensive. It really is. How do you slowly avoid personal boundaries? Geez, here, let me think about that question. It's been on my mind a lot. I share a lot. I've always been a pretty open person. And sometimes I really do think that I overshare. It sounds silly, but it's been a really big problem where it has affected me and my past relationships. It has affected, the dynamics within the family, even a little bit. And I think I've come to realize that there might be some topics which are just really, I shouldn't talk about ever. Namely, like the stuff that just goes on within my personal life with my girlfriend. Even some of the family dynamic things, I guess I can sometimes talk about. It depends on the context. I think a lot of the stories that involve me are safe to talk about, but even the ones that involve like another human being, maybe I want to keep it anonymous and I want to preserve their integrity. Talk more about my experience. It's tricky. I don't have the perfect answer when it comes to oversharing. I think just saying and being a lot more intentional and being like, hey, these are some things that I just don't want to talk about, but I'm still finding that balance. And it's such a weird concept to think that like I am monetizing my private life when you think about it. When you're on the other side of the screen and you guys are watching like a streamer, you don't really think about it, but like you as the streamer, you're like, I just showed this person like my bedroom. Like people could figure out my address. If you're a girl, just watching some videos about like how, girls can worry about stalkers and things like that. Luckily, that hasn't been a big problem for me. I don't think I have any stalkers, but yeah, it is something worth thinking about. What other questions do you guys have? I might not talk as much because I'll be eating a little bit. But I have a lot of plans for the YouTube channel. Really excited that we're monetized, hit 1,200 subs. This first vlog that I made was really fun as well. Really? My girlfriend just took my sandwich. Thank you. Opinions on Milton Academy. Milton's a good school. I don't have really strong opinions of it. I think it's not quite like top tier private boarding school. Maybe it's like second tier. We used to play against Milton a lot for sports and stuff. So the way it works in boarding school is every Wednesday and Saturday, you go and you play sports against all this other boarding school circuit, right? Isn't the sandwich good, hon? It is amazing. I've become an expert. When is the vlog going up? The vlog is up, K9. The one about, I published it, I think 3 days ago. You can check it out. Super proud of it. But that vlog took me 10 hours to make. And so the plan, guys, is to transition from making college level content to more focus on education, broader education. I'm talking about everything that I think you guys should know to survive in the real world. So the channel will slowly morph into more like topics related to adulting, personal finance, reading body language, professional development, like fun videos about how to write a solid resume or crush your interview. Just even like general philosophy or life coaching habits, mastering morning routines and night routines. By no means am I an expert. And oftentimes I find that by creating these videos, like I put myself in a position where I'm like, Kevin, you need to grow into this person. You're not perfect, but if you put yourself on the internet and you say that like you do all these things, then you got to hold yourself accountable. And if you watch like a video, I think from a month or two ago, where I said that I would do this challenge and I would thank like a different person for my life for 30 days. I did that for like 10 days and I gave up. And I felt really like bad. Like I don't want to do that. I want to be better. I want to be like more consistent. Should we still talk about college? Do you guys have more questions about guys? It's a crazy week. This is it. This is the week, right? I think all the decisions come out by April 7th or April 10th. You guys know better than me. Senioritis. Good question. Yes, guys, the moment you get into college, just zone out. It gets a bit dangerous because senioritis can carry on all the way into freshman year. Of course, I experienced it. I worked so hard. I was really excited to kind of chill out, offload some responsibilities to other underclassmen. So short answer is yes, I totally did experience it. Some of my fondest memories are from that senior spring. And part of me is always just trying to find that balance between like, oh, very productive, work, but also like you're a freaking kid. Like, of course you can spend 6 hours on YouTube and marathon and watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy with your friends. Like that's what being a teenager is about. So, I often used to take myself so seriously as a kid, and my older sister would be like, dude, you need to like just do nothing more. Don't feel guilty for being a couch potato. And I struggled with that too when I was younger. Do you think people should double major? Depends on the school. I think a major and a minor is awesome. Double major is a lot, and it depends on the two majors. If they're very similar and there's a lot of overlap between the credits, by all means, electrical, mechanical engineering, yeah, makes sense. If you're trying to double major between neuroscience and history, that is a lot of credits. Any tips for the painful Ivy Day wait? Keep yourself occupied, whether that's like starting a show, exercising, just trying to keep yourself a little bit busy. I know it sounds cliche. And you guys can check out the video that I said about managing college anxiety. It has a photo of Deku on it. You either have like You're either going to get in or you're not going to get in, right? Like, can you prepare yourself for both scenarios? Yeah. I know it sounds so easy for me to say in hindsight, but the other thing, guys, is you only need one. It's weird. It's really weird how these work, where like maybe you'll just get into one and that's all you need. Like I've said many times before, I just like the first 5 schools that responded to me were all waitlists and rejections. And I was like, at this point, prepared to be a freaking janitor, just like sweeping a broom around in my parents' restaurant. And then I got a few acceptances and I was like, great, we're good, we're happy. I mean, at this point, guys, come on, Chuck, Bryce, like you guys probably have gotten into college, one college, right? I'm not going to assume, maybe not, but I assume you guys have gotten into one college. You will be all right. Worst case scenario, you gap year and you reapply. That has happened to lots of students. I've worked with them. If you guys are in like such shambles that you need to take a gap year and reapply, hit me up. I will take pity on your soul. If you are watching this right now live and you don't get in anywhere good, like let me help you. I'll tutor you at a discounted rate. I'll give you help. You know, if you're an OG subscriber from under 1,000 subs and you're watching this and for some reason like things did not work out, I want you to succeed like so bad. I was just talking to Rasmus. You guys scroll up, you can see Rasmus. So I work with Rasmus privately, and he was telling me about this program. And it just like kills my soul when you guys don't have the confidence or you think it's not worth it to, I was just like Rasmus. He was thinking about a program at Oxbridge. I was like, if cost is the number one thing that's prohibiting you, like I will try to help supplement and sponsor your summer education to Oxbridge if like cost is really like the number one issue. Again, like I just want you guys to, I just wish this channel was here when I was younger. I'm just trying to tell you guys everything that I wish I knew when I was younger. That's all. That is all. What other questions do you guys have? The Ivy Day wait. I think that, yeah, I was so busy with school still at that point. I think I was too busy enjoying myself. I think senior spring at Exeter in boarding school is like a huge deal. Like no one does anything. People's GPAs like literally drop off the face of a cliff. Like you were getting from like straight A's to people like low B's, high C's. Teachers grade more leniently. Teachers don't even take you as like serious students anymore. How to stand out as a college applicant. Guys, you know better than me. Can someone help answer Liam's question? How do we stand out as college applicants? I didn't apply to colleges abroad. I just applied to colleges in the US. Thank you. Nice shirt. Thoughts on loans? My friend got into Cambridge. We can't afford it without loans. It is tough, guys. It's tough being middle class. If I were your friend, I would start applying to crazy scholarships. Thanks for the compliment, Chuck. Like you can apply to, if you have not applied to 50 or 100 scholarships, like what are you doing? And you need a loan. What are you doing? Just write. It's crazy. Like every word that you write could be worth $10 or $20 or $50 if you win. And if you win one scholarship, it becomes a lot easier to win the other ones. You gain confidence. You gain more like validity. I didn't apply to colleges abroad. Would a full cost education be worth it over a full ride to a T50? again, Bryce, it depends on like what you care about. Like if you want to become a doctor, then it actually might be easier to attend your state school, ball out, get a 4.0, and then it's easier to go to, it'll be a lot easier to get into medical school. But let's say like you're really interested in a career in finance and consulting, and you want to be in New York, like you get into Columbia, and you're thinking about Columbia versus like Ohio State, and it turns out that Columbia has a better program, or NYU, right? Like NYU finance is better than Yale finance. It depends on the specific program and what your career goals are. And I was going to make a video about this, which is like how to pick a college. I was literally working on it. I'm going to record it today. Depends on your major. It depends on your career goals, where you want to be, a lot of like personal family circumstances as well. And for the most part, I would just say that that's a really tough choice. It is. And it depends on your own personal circumstances. But I do have good news, which is that there was a study that showed these top students who got into these great schools, did they go to a state school? Did they go to an Ivy League? And over the long term, like 10 years or 15 years out, it doesn't really have an impact on occupation, things like that. But I guess I will say that, if you go to an Ivy League school, it technically gives an advantage to like all your descendants, right? Because now you have legacy and all of them have legacy, which kind of helps. How helpful is Yale's science and art program? You're going to have to be a little bit more specific than that, Liam. There's so many sciences at Yale. And again, there's so many arts at Yale. I don't know what you're talking about. So because computer science, there's neuroscience, there's engineering. All of those are very different. If you're talking about art, like are you talking about art and architecture, you're going to have to be a little bit more specific, my friend. What other questions do you guys have? Oh, I want to say also that this year in terms of college admissions was probably the hardest of all time. So just keep that in mind. I feel bad. Computer science is getting better at Yale. And I mentioned this before, but they have a really awesome major called computing and the arts, which is cool. Yeah, they're investing a lot more into STEM. It's getting better. It is. But at the end of the day, like computer science at a lot of these schools is really similar. Like computer science, the courses that you take are going to be almost exactly the same from like MIT to UT Austin. But I guess what's different is the level of the teaching quality might be a little bit different, even though the content is the same. You also want to just look at like the number of people in the class. So figure out like how much tender loving care could you really get. Neuroscience at Yale and visual art. Neuroscience at Yale and visual art. I don't know too much about the visual arts or neuroscience at Yale. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm best equipped to answer that question. Yeah, the main difference would be atmosphere and the people, guys. Oh, I guess I have 15 more minutes before I have to teach a class. I don't even think I'll get to cut all this eggplant. I was going to make some eggplant and chickpeas, some tomato sauce. Oh. Guys, give me some video ideas. What kinds of videos do you want me to make over the next week or two? I've been getting more and more invested into YouTube. What do you guys want? Do you guys want another blog? Do you guys want videos about college? What do you guys want? Just let me know. And I am of service to you. I want to be useful to you. This is not a selfish channel for me to talk about what I want to talk about. It's like I'm here to be useful to you guys. I am a servant. You don't choose Yale, Yale chooses you. That was a funny story, guys. I mean, I really wasn't thinking about Yale at all. It was a last-minute decision. I went because we had parties. There was a party at Yale during Revisit Day, and it was so much fun. Please do another vlog. Oh my God, Rasmus, you're killing me. Outside. So yeah, here's the thing, because we are not allowed to go outside because of a lockdown. But yeah, the lockdown, it looks like it's coming out. They're lifting it today. So actually we'll be able to go to the beach and hang out. It's a little tricky because last time I brought out my really nice fancy camera, we nearly got robbed. We were being followed for like 2 hours, so that was a little suspicious. And I'm sad. I'm hesitant to bring out my camera when we're outside. So that's definitely a factor. Also, the vlogs take so much time and energy. It took me like 10 hours. I think that at the most I can make a vlog like every 2 weeks, but I don't even think I could do them weekly. So the easier videos for me to make are just where I'm like sitting and I'm talking to you guys. I'm giving you advice about a certain subject or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the ocean view. That is literally my view outside the window. More vlogs. You guys really think my life is that interesting? There's nothing much going on here. I'll do a vlog once I get back in New York. It'll be really nice that time of year in May. And yeah, just Brazil thing, seriously, Chuck. So I'll be in New York in May, and then I'll be back in Miami in June, which will be fun. Although summers in Miami is just it's so hot, and also it rained for an entire week in Miami. Summers I'll just be tutoring like crazy. If you guys know any high schoolers that want tutoring help, I'm taking just like a few more students. But don't risk your safety for YouTube. Thank you, Rasmus, for your concern. That's sad too, because like this camera, you guys know, like it was my subscribers bought me this really nice, the Sony A6400 camera. Yeah. Patrick, are you from Florida? Miami summers really do suck. Yeah, I do not want to be in Miami in the summer, but Wi-Fi is fast, the rent is free, hanging out with the parents. It's good to be home. You know, I wasn't home during high school. I wasn't home in college. So hanging out with the fam a little bit. You got to learn how to cook for my mom a little bit more. But yeah, we won't be in Miami forever. I've been thinking about a move to Texas one of these days, or Atlanta. I'm a high school student, need help tutoring. All right, Liam, just DM me. My email is kevin@zened.com. Yeah, just DM me. Shoot me a quick ping, and I can help you. Miami born and raised. Awesome, Patrick. Did not know that. Yeah, I might go around to some of these schools in the fall and just give free like college consulting advice. Tell people to subscribe on my YouTube and just like drive around Miami cruising. Texas, yeah. I need to be somewhere warm. I've identified pretty much just Texas, Atlanta, and maybe Orlando. California is too expensive, although it's cool, but those are the things that I'm thinking about these days. I'm almost done cutting this eggplant, guys. Thanks for joining me. Is there a price for tutoring? Yeah, normally my rate is $100 an hour, but if you need financial aid, just let me know. Write me like a brief essay about, you know, what your circumstances, and we can figure out something fair for everyone. I'm not here to like destroy your wallet and like crush you in the spirit of capitalism. That's just not what I'm about. Or am I? Am I, guys, right? Am I merely another capitalist pig here to use YouTube as a platform for self-promoting? I don't even know what I'm making. I'm just prepping some food. I think I'm gonna cook this in like a tomato sauce with some chickpeas, feeling vaguely Mediterranean today, some curry powder, some paprika. We'll just see what happens. I didn't really have a plan. There's no recipe here. But I was like, I need to cook this or else it's gonna go bad. It's one of my superpowers now to identify food right before it goes bad so that we can eat it. Yeah, Liam, just write me like a brief email about your circumstance, maybe like 500 words, talking about like how much you can afford, what would be fair for you, and then we can figure something out, man. How did you find me, Liam? You just found me on YouTube? Did you like, what? How are people even finding me these days? I don't even know. I have some updates from the vlog. I don't know if you guys saw the vlog. You just email me, Liam. Email me, kevin@zened.com. That's the email. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to contact me. I once left a loaf of bread out for 6 months. Chuck, come on, dude. He's given the mold a feast. Chuck said, mold, propagate. But yeah, I know you found me on YouTube, Liam, okay? But how, like, what did you search? Like, how are people finding me? Suggested videos? You guys searching something? Do you guys know how many people found my channel through this? My most popular video is the Ryan Shie video. You guys know Ryan? He's on Child Genius. So you can check out, and he goes to Yale now. He went to Exeter and Yale. And so, like, 30% of my traffic is from people searching up Ryan Xie from Child Genius. And then they found my channel. Ryan's mom was like real friendly. Oh, I dropped an eggplant. And asking me about search Yale essay. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, Ryan's mom was real friendly and talking to me about monetizing her YouTube and stuff like that. But it's really exciting, I guess, because like my YouTube income can only pretty much go up, you know? Like it started off by 50 cents a day and I'm already at like $2, which is like a 4x increase. So that's pretty exciting. I thought I would be making, my expectations were so low. Like I thought I would be making 10 cents a day, but I'm not. I think I'm making $2 a day, $2 a day, which is, when you think about it, that's more than 1 billion people on this planet. So that's pretty crazy. Oh, wow. So blessed, you know? My life is really good, guys. I think the only thing that I really want to do now is travel. Talking about personal life and some plans, I might end up becoming a little professor in China. So I'm waiting to hear back from this gig. I've been teaching English virtually. That's really exciting. And oh, awesome. Thanks, Ragan. Good to know. Oh, I also got sponsored, guys. Did you guys see? I got sponsored by like this Ivy admissions essay coaching thing. So whenever people sign up through my referral link, I get some cash money in the bank, which I then use to buy groceries. Yeah, very exciting. So that's good. Oh, any other questions? What else do people? The admission file video. That was a good one. That was a good one. I've got so much better at editing. I can't wait to take my editing game to the next level. We did it, guys. We cut all the eggplant. Good. Great. Awesome. A post recommendation on Facebook. Okay, thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. You guys know that Zuckerberg went to Exeter and he went to my school? Wild. I think he's on the spectrum, but he's yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's too capitalist oriented. Like what's good for Facebook may not be good for society. Like, come on, man. Facebook is rich enough. All right. We are probably going to wrap up this live stream soon. I have tutoring in about 5 minutes. Andrew Yang went to Exeter as well. It's true. Went to Exeter, then Brown. His adventure for America. Now he's running for mayor in New York. Guys, let me know what videos I can make for you. Do you guys like an idea? If it's a good idea, I had this idea where I would Venmo people like a few dollars if they gave me a good video idea. Just suggest an idea to me on Venmo or PayPal, and then if I think it's good, I'll send you $5. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it. Just while you guys are already here, let me know what videos you want me to make for you, so I can be useful, right? But you know, my long-term dream for the channel, back to what I was mentioning earlier, is I want to grow with you guys. So I'm not going to be making college admissions content forever. You know what I mean? Like at a certain point in time, I want to make videos that if I were a college freshman, I would want to know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Oh, gap year ideas. Okay. That's kind of funny because I did not do a gap year, but I will interview my friends who did do gap years and they can talk about it. Gap year ideas would be good. What else do people want to know? Any tips going into grade 9? Dennis, the best thing you can do is watch my How to Get Into College Ivy League college playlist, especially the 25 factors. Watch that, Dennis. That's everything I wish I knew. How to deal with stress, the gap year ideas. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Sounds good. I'll make it happen. I will make it happen. I'll give you a bit of a preview, which is like what you should be doing during a gap year. Sit down and plan your gap year by a 3-month block. So maybe in one 3-month block, you work at a nonprofit. Another 3-month block, you do really menial service labor. Like maybe you go work at the Gap, or you go work at you become a bartender, or you become a waitress at Denny's. And then 3 months where it's like really professional development, and then 3 months just travel, study abroad. So that's what I recommend. You can split it up into 4 blocks. That would be really awesome. And then there's also programs which kind of sponsor gap years. I don't know. There was one at our school. I don't know if there's too many out in the world, but definitely do like a summer abroad. It looks like next summer things will be back in full swing. People will have a vaccine. A gap year before graduate school. Guys, you can also do a gap year in college, right? Between freshman and sophomore year, or between sophomore and junior year. Take a whole year off. Very, very, like, I wish that was more common. I wish it was required. And they force you to live like in a different part of the US or just in a different country. It's kind of tough when you're like, young and broke. Your income changes a lot going from like 18 or 19 years old versus when you're 21 or 22 years old, especially in college to after college. Well, guys, the stream ended up being a lot longer than I thought. My voice is back. I had like a bit of a sore throat. Thought I had COVID for a second, but I didn't. I survived. And thank you all for joining the stream. I hope you guys found it useful. I'll write down the gap year idea video, and then I will see you guys next week. Okay? Thanks so much for tuning in. Catch you guys at the next one. Peace.